SAS Visual Analytics allows you to visually explore and analyze extremely large data sets. In this demo, we'll be using data from the 2012 VAST Group Challenge, issued annually by the Visual Analytics Science and Technology Group. The 2012 data focuses on big data for cybersecurity. We're accessing SAS Visual Analytics Explorer through a standard web browser. And to start, I've brought up the data in tabular format to get a better understanding of it. We can see IP addresses with approximately 800,000 nodes, and they map to machine class and function, location, timestamp, policy status, which shows the status of a healthy or compromised system, and the activity flag that shows normal or abnormal behavior, such as a system down for maintenance or when an external device has been added. Even with 1.1 billion rows of data, SAS quickly generates computations on the fly. In this demo, nothing has been aggregated in advance. Now that we understand the data size, we can explore it to learn whether there's a security problem on a network device, how to isolate the location of the problem, and how to determine the severity. The Auto Chart feature charts the data on the canvas, and SAS Visual Analytics Explorer automatically determines the most appropriate graphic to display and the breakout of the data. We'll select Policy Status and drag and drop it on the canvas. Again, SAS is churning through 1 billion rows of data. It looks like we have nearly 6,000 possibly compromised nodes. Next, let's see if those compromised systems affect particular types of machine classes or functions. I'll select the Data Brush tool and then select a new visualization and drag and drop machine class onto the canvas. Next, I'll select possible compromises to see how machine class is distributed, and the new distributions are reflected. Since the data is so large, I'll adjust the scale of the chart to better see the data of interest. Now let's take this analysis a bit further and look at the machine function. I'll select New Visualization again, and drag and drop machine function onto the canvas. SAS Visual Analytics makes it easy to adjust the layout of the screen. Data brushing is still intact, and now I have a breakout of possibly compromised systems based on machine function. Now, instead of working with discrete data elements, I can create a hierarchy. With machine class and machine function. I can replace frequency of machine class with my newly created asset hierarchy. When I double-click, I drill into the machine function. I'll delete machine function since it's redundant. There are many visuals I can use to isolate the problem on my network. So next, I'll minimize the visuals and select a heat map that I've started. A heat map is extremely useful in working with big data because it provides scatter plots. The many discrete points are pulled together and represented as color-coded boxes. We see the policy status of different network nodes mapped to facility longitude and latitude. And with the highlighted red areas, it's obvious there's a geospatial aspect to the network's health. It's also helpful to see this information on a map, so let's port the data onto a physical map. I'll use an already created geo-hierarchy, which is just like the hierarchy we created before, except we'll be using the physical locations. In this case, business unit and facility. I'll use policy status as bubble size. Now we can see a map that parallels the heat map. Large bubbles represent trouble areas. In this case, the analyst needs to focus on regions 10 and 5. So far, we've determined the security problem and the location on the network. Now we can explore our data further by looking at the affected systems. I'll minimize the visuals and look at the number of affected systems over the last 48 hours. I'll select Health, Time, and Flag Policy of possible affected systems. The chart shows the accelerated rate of infection, and the last data point shows we currently have nearly 6,000 possibly affected systems. Next, I'll run a forecast to determine how bad this problem may become. I'll right-click on the chart and show Forecast. To forecast the next 24 hours, in Properties, I'll select a duration of 96 intervals, which equates to a 24-hour time frame with 15-minute intervals, and then update the chart. SAS updates the plot, and we can hover to see that within the next 24 hours, there are 19,000 possibly compromised systems. With SAS Visual Analytics, cyber analysts can better understand and use large data sets to assess the security threats they're facing.